Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So before we get into today's video, there was just two things that I really wanted to quickly mention. The first one was in the last video, I got a few comments about my sound and it was super quiet. So this is a voiceover video, which hopefully the sound will be okay with this because I'm using my microphone. I think the problem was coming from where I've been sort of crafting and talking as I've crafted. So it's just the sound coming through my camera. I have played with the settings a little bit. The next video you'll see isn't going to be a voiceover video, so let me know in this video that this sound is okay. I have upped the volume on my microphone and I have tried to play with some of the settings on my camera, so let me know in that next video if everything is okay back with the sound, because I want to make sure that it is perfect for you guys, so do let me know. The second thing I wanted to mention is, again, in that last video I was talking about kind of losing creativity and like your crafty mojo and things, and I had some really lovely comments, and I really want to apologize that I haven't replied to those comments yet. To be honest, I haven't really been on YouTube for the last week and a half, maybe something like that. So I have read them. And yeah, I was really sort of touched by everyone's really kind words, and obviously sort of leaving a comment as well. And for me not to really feel like this was, you know, something that I go through alone. Obviously it is something that we all kind of deal with from time to time. I am planning maybe soon to do a video just to let you know what's been going on kind of this end of paper ink stamp, and just sort of catch you up really with what's been happening. But yeah, I'm hoping that everything is kind of back to normal. I do need to do a new craft room tour because I have been kind of playing around with that, just trying to help again move things around a little bit to sort of help with that creativity and kind of getting me really back into the flow that I was kind of in previously. But yeah, I really just wanted to thank everyone for their really kind comments, and I am going to be replying to those today. But for now, let's get into today's video. So for today's video, we're looking at this issue of Simply Cards and Papercraft. I think this is 239, I believe, and this is Butterfly Florals. We've got some really great floral stamps in here, some background pieces and sentiments, and then we have this Pink Fresh Studio butterfly with the stamp and coordinating die. Now, as I said before, this was a video where I was talking as I was crafting, but to be honest, I kind of got halfway through it and the video was about 25 minutes long, and I just really couldn't commit to finishing it, to be totally honest, so I just decided to go over the footage and just do a voiceover. So this was still kind of rolling off of my lack of creativity, and I was just really trying to sit and play and kind of just not particularly make anything, but just to kind of see what took my fancy. So I decided to create two sets of butterflies. We're going to make some really lovely dimensional butterflies using a few different products, and I'm going to use one of these in my next video to create a card, but we are just creating two butterflies today. But what I really wanted to show you was how you can create some really lovely dimension, specifically with a die. Obviously I'm going to use the stamp as my top layer, but yeah, we're just going to create two layered butterflies, two different ways of layering them up, and I'm going to tell you which one is my preferred way, and you'll kind of see that a little bit later on in the video. That's going to be the second one that I'm creating. So the first one, we're just going to do some simple shaping and things of the wings, and yeah, just trying to make them stand apart from each other. So the bottom layer, I took out a paper pack. This one here you can see in my hands, it's both of these butterflies are going to be kind of pink and purple themed, but I decided to pull out this paper pad. I'm not really sure where I got this one from, to be honest, but I took one of those patterned papers, die cut that with the butterfly die, that'd be my bottom layer. Then I die cut from vellum. So if I'm creating a layered butterfly, I really like to add vellum because it gives you a really nice subtle layer in between your top and bottom layers with it, so it just kind of breaks it apart a little bit and adds in a really easy layer. But also then it's, because of the way vellum is, it kind of curls on that on its own, so it kind of gives it its own shape as well, which I do really love. So that was our middle layer. And then I've taken another piece of patterned paper and I've stamped the butterfly stamp over the top of this. And I really love this. It's like a beautiful sort of mosaic. And I heat embossed that with some gold embossing powder. And then I'm going to die cut that as well. So it's going to be my top layer. So you don't always need to colour in your images. You don't always need to have sort of different products. If you've got some patterned paper and a die like this, it's going to work just as well. And it's really easy if you just want to kind of get crafting, creating. You don't want to sort of spend too much time on the process of it necessarily, but you just want to create something really great. And then I decided to add a fourth layer to this. So I've got just a piece of lilac cardstock here, and that's going to be my bottom layer. So you can see the four of these together. So for this butterfly, I'm just going to use my fingers and I'm going to use the edge of a ruler just to add some shape to the wings of this. So to begin with, I end up sort of doing them both the same way, but they really kind of sit in on each other. But again, this is just two ways of adding sort of dimension, creating some dimensional butterflies, which I always like to do on a card because it just adds some really great dimension onto a card. And again, then just being able to add those kind of different layers together. Then I added the patterned paper butterfly, the plain one, then the vellum, and then our heat embossed top one. And you can see I'm only adding the glue onto the centerpiece of the body of the butterfly, not on the wings, because I really want those to stand proud. And you can see that I'm just really working my fingers in between each layer to have them just be as separate as possible and sort of show you that dimension. So you could glue the back one flat onto the card and then kind of work on it from there. I do find that a little bit easier, just in the sense that you kind of got that bottom one flat. You can see how much dimension you really want to add to these. That is typically how I would create a butterfly because it doesn't give too much bulk on a card. Again, it really depends what the project is. But then this second one, I create the dimension between the wings and I think it comes out much better. Again, it does add that little bit of bulk to it because we're going to use a little bit of foam, but it does give you more, it will give you that shape and it'll be much more longer lasting. So if you were to put a card in the post with that first butterfly, for example, the chances are that is going to kind of lose most of its dimension and its curl and it's going to be quite flat. With this one here, this is going to kind of spring back. You're going to have that dimension and you're going to have that separation between each layer every time, and yeah, when you take out the envelope, it's going to sort of spring back really nicely. So for the top layer for this, again, I wanted to just use some different products. I wanted to just have a play around again because, you know, this was trying to just get my creativity back and just, I picked out just a bunch of products that I have. So this one here, we're using the Nuvo shimmer powder. And this is the lilac one. I'll try and link it in the description box down below, but I can't 100% remember what it's called. But I heat embossed this with some gold embossing powder, and then just really gently tapped at the bottom of this because you don't need to squeeze it. You don't need a lot of this powder at all. And just spritz some water on it. And then what I really love about the heat embossing is it creates little wells and pools for that color to sit in, and it just creates some really beautiful kind of separation in that colors because it is made up of sort of purple, more of a navy color, and a really bright pink as well. So I absolutely love these Nuvo shimmer powders, and again, it's just something nice to kind of play with and yeah, just get that kind of creativity back. So I'm going to leave that to one side. I did set it a little bit with my heat tool, but I'm always a bit wary of that because of my heat embossing. I don't want my heat embossing to burn. So I did just leave it. You can see it there, left it as it is, and it was good to go. Then I created two more butterflies. So we've got another one of those patterned papers. This one has the keys on it. And then we have that solid one as well, which I think is the mauve purple, which is the Tuxedo plain paper, sorry. And then I decided again to add in a vellum layer as well. So again, really easy butterflies to create. I really love the size of this. I love all of Pink Fresh Studio. I don't have a lot of it, to be honest, but I love all of their layering stencils they've got. All their florals I think are just so beautiful, but yeah, it's just not something I sort of really purchase, but I'm always really happy when you get a Pink Fresh Studio product come free with one of the magazines because I just think they're so beautiful. So there we have a really basic butterfly. So you could leave it like this. You could do the dimension that we did on the first one. But yeah, with this one, I wanted to create more of a bounce back. So a butterfly that really kept its dimension, and doing both of these side by side with each other. This is definitely a preferred technique now. So I took the smallest round foam squares that I had and just cut them in half, literally. So we had just half circles, and then you can see there. So on that very bottom layer, I added two quite close to our center, and that's just gonna keep that dimension there. Again, if you're going to put this in the post, then it's going to really spring back with that dimension. So then on the next, between the next layer, which I believe was the patterned paper and the vellum, I just put one, and it kind of goes in between the two. So we were just kind of changing the way that dimension is a little bit. I might put an extra one in this one. I can't 100% remember. I know I put on one layer, I put one closer to kind of the middle of the wing, really. See, that one has got two, just to add a little bit more separation. If you add it just to the middle, you're going to have a lot more volume. If you spread it out more across the wing, then it's going to have a more kind of a subtle look to it. But again, just when you see this together, it's just going to keep that dimension, and it's just going to create such a beautiful layered butterfly. And with this, you really can see all of those lovely layers that you've put together. People know it's meant to be and have that dimension. And yeah, you're going to put it in the envelope, and it's just going to spring back entirely. So definitely this second way is the better way, I think, to kind of do this and approach creating these layered butterflies. And really, you don't even need the stamp for this. You can literally just use a die. If you've got just an outline die, if it's a coordinating die, whatever it is, then you're going to be able to create layers like this. But not just for butterflies, you could do it for flowers as well. If you wanted to create that dimension for flowers, whether you wanted to make it look like it was a lot fuller, definitely just adding a little bit of foam in there is going to be really great. And you know, then when it gets to your recipient, if you have popped it through the post, then it is really going to show them that there was all of that dimension there. And for something that's quite quick and simple to do, it does make a big difference. And then you can see I was just bringing forward the top of those wings. Again, if you just want to add a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to show this both of them together just up against a piece of card, and you can see if you were to glue that flat to the back of it, look at all of that dimension that you've created, and like I said, it's all going to spring back and it's really going to keep its shape. Opposed to then this first one, you can see that we kind of worked it and manipulated it a lot more, but it really just wasn't going to keep its shape. So again, this was me just kind of trying to get my creativity going. I did then do a video straight after this using the purple butterfly, because I was planning to use more of the free gift, but obviously I didn't. In that video, I'm going to create a card using some of the stamps and that from that set with this dimensional butterfly to actually create a card, because I was feeling quite creative and kind of in the zone then, so I felt like I really wanted to just carry on going. So definitely check out that next video to see how I do use this on a card. But for this, hopefully it's given you a couple of tips on creating some dimensional butterflies, how you can do it, and again, two sort of different ways, but definitely adding the foam tape, I think, was the best option 100%. So that is going to be it for this video. I'm trying to get back into my regular videos. I've got a couple magazines that I'm going to do a couple of videos on as well, as a few other ideas that I've got kind of lurking in the back of my brain as well. I am looking at popping some more of my de-stash items onto my Etsy shop, so that's going to be hopefully happening soon. I need to record a new craft room tour as well, just to show you how I've kind of changed that, just to help with my creativity and kind of bring it back a little bit as well. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to notify you when I upload a new video. Yeah, let me know about the sound in this video. I want to make sure that this is okay using my microphone, and then yeah, in the next video as well, just let me know, because I want to make sure that that is all back as it should be. So that's going to be it for this video. So thanks very much for watching, and happy crafting.